everyone, this is Martha. I am a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist, and I am sorry, I'm in Bamboo right now, and this is the room that I see my clients at. And just to give you a quick look of the room that I see clients. So I'm waiting for my client right now. This is the door, and more foam that doesn't work, prevents noise from the other room. This is a therapy chair. Couple usually take either seat, and then there's an extra chair in case I need it. If I just have one client, then I sit on the other chair. So this is the room that I often see clients at. Yeah. So hi, thanks for watching. So I'm Martha. I'm a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist, and this is me coming to you just before my session with my next client. Okay, so I've been a sexologist for 10 years now, and I practice in Singapore. And even though Singapore is the most westernized Asian country, well, you could argue Philippines is also very westernized. I would say Singapore is definitely the most economically prosperous Asian country, although having said that, China and India are also pretty prosperous now. Okay, so Singapore being the most developed country in Asia, and we're just gonna have our National Day in a few days' time. I'm gonna be away. I'm gonna be in KL between the 7th and the 14th, running some workshops, and very, very happy to be actually also running a train-the-trainer kind of a workshop. 2 days on teaching practitioners how to overcome vaginismus. So that's like a private training that I'm doing, and I'm also going to be running my popular Art of Fellatio, Art of Vulva Pleasuring, and Art of Penis Pleasuring. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about how the many sex educators that I know, or my colleagues, and what we do is we contribute quotes and stories towards the media. And I have had media training, okay? I have had media training. I have a diploma in mass communications, and then I also have a Bachelor of Arts in mass communication, and I have 3 other degrees. So from my first diploma, my diploma, and then actually that's also my first diploma, my diploma, and then my Bachelor of Arts Communication, and then I also worked as a PR, Corpcoms, corporate communications person, doing marketing, advertising for 8 years. We study how the media works, and I understand that the media is trying to do their job. They try to sell the papers, and consciously or unconsciously, we as solopreneurs, practitioners, sex educators, teachers, a lot of times those of us who work by ourselves, we have to learn how to be more savvy, more smart in our marketing, so that we can get bumps on seats, so that we can get clients, so that we can get participants to our workshops. And one of the things as a sex educator is the topic sex is taboo, sensitive, forbidden, interesting, exciting. And so it's not hard for us to sensationalize our work. It's not hard for our work to be sexy and to see it as sexy and to say it and portray it in a way that is sexy. And I've been doing this for 10 years, and that's something that I refuse to do, even though I have been doing this for 10 years and I have struggled, and I have also struggled with getting bumps on seats. And with my media training, public relations training, with my training in being a communicator professionally, working in companies, also in my education, and now as a practitioner, I refuse to do this. Okay, I refuse to do this. I refuse to, and you will not find this coming from me. Maybe from other places that have appeared, and then they kind of edit my words. It has happened. So I have actually have had times where I actually had a falling out with some publications, because, give you one example, in one article I wrote that I wrote sex. You asked me to write an article for your publication, so I write it. But when you publish it, you edited it without asking me for permission, and you edited it in whatever way you like. Sure, I said that I will contribute to your magazine, but because I'm writing it word for word, and the article is said by me, not by your journalist. You know how they get quotes and then they write an article? The copyright actually belongs to them. So when I contribute an article in my name and you edit it, I do have the right to know what you edited. So they took my word sex, they changed it to physical intimacy, and I did not mean physical intimacy. I know exactly what I mean because I wrote it, and yet they changed it. And so I have had times where I've had falling out with certain publications and refused to ever work with them again. And I've also written articles where I contribute something and they use a very sensationalized kind of sexualized picture, which totally goes against the message of the article. So then I complain and I'm like, oh, this is all right. But the thing is, the article is by me, for me, written by me, and completely contributed to me, yet the picture is not my say. So there have been times where it has been quite challenging for me as well by the media who persist on sensationalizing all my content. So this is one of the reasons why I write my own books, I write my own blogs, and when I'm not comfortable with where it is published, I publish it myself. I publish on Elephant Journal, used to publish in Your Tango, now I publish in Medium, but I also publish on my website, I also publish on LinkedIn. This is one of the reasons why I do that. Of course, you can say, well, why don't I just publish my own sex magazine? Or it's a lot of work. Don't forget, okay, on top of me seeing clients, I actually also run workshops and I do my own marketing, publicity, and so it's a lot of work on top of all the writing that I do, which I don't get paid for, on top of all the YouTube videos that I do that I don't get paid for either. And so anyway, I think I'm belaboring the point. So what exactly am I saying that I will not do? This is one thing I have not done. Maybe certain places that I have appeared in, magazines or workshops where I partner with someone and then they edit my text, okay? You will not find me calling things secret. You will not find me calling this and that secret, secret, secret. Why? When you say something like the secret of, you are saying, I know you don't know. It's a secret, you don't know, you better come and attend. It sounds juicy, it sounds funny, but once you reveal the secret and then people realize that it's not such a big secret, they're gonna feel cheated. The next thing is, why is it that you can learn about sex that you can't get anywhere nowadays? You can get pretty much anything or any information on the internet. You can search and you can find anything, even very, very scientific medical information about ingredients of drugs and the risks, the pros, the cons, people's feedback, testimonials, horror stories. You can pretty much read everything on the internet nowadays. So why are sex educators still using words like secret when really it's not a secret? A lot of what is out there can be learned. And so you will not find me saying things like secret, because I don't want people to feel ripped off, and I don't want to make people feel like it's conned when they do find out what that secret is. And I try not to use sexualized and sensationalism in my work. A lot of what I do is, yes, it is factual, it is educational, it is sex positive, but I do try to make it in a fun way. And I think people misunderstand just because, you know, I have 4 degrees and I have a doctorate in human sexuality, been doing this for 10 years. In my work in Singapore, there's no touch, no nudity. People assume that all my workshops are pretty serious, but actually I'm pretty funny. I try to make it fun and funny, and there's a fine line between fun, funny, and disgusting and distasteful and sleazy, and becoming like commercialized and becoming sensationalized and done for the sake of getting bumps on seats. So there are certain things that I won't do for money. I wouldn't do nudity in Singapore. I'm Singaporean. I know how it's like in Singapore, and the last thing I want to do is to become labeled as a sex worker. There's nothing wrong with being a sex worker. I'm very pro sexual rights of anybody. However, when it comes to me being in Singapore, wanting to work with all kinds of clients, I do take a lot of care towards protecting my reputation. And I do work with, and I'm very, very honored that I have had the confidence of people who come from conservative backgrounds. And so as much as I try to speak my truth and be vulnerable and put myself out there, there are certain things that I will not do. I do try very hard not to be sexy for the sake of being sexy. Not just in the way I look, way I dress, but also the way my workshops description are written. So you will not find this word secret. Seriously, like, who are you kidding? You know, you think you can't find it on the internet. So what I want to say is that even though you can find pretty much anything on the internet, a lot of times the application is lacking. If you read about Kegels, a lot of my clients, yeah, I read about it. Yeah, you read about it. Did you do it? Yeah, I did do it. How long did you do it? 2 days. And it doesn't work. So if you do an exercise for 2 days, if you want to build muscles, if you want to become an Olympian swimmer, you can't become one in 2 days, no matter what technique. And so you get information on the internet, but the information comes across as incomplete. And it doesn't describe, because what happens with a lot of magazines articles is because of space constraints, they don't elaborate, and the finer details in the elaboration is the problem. And so the value of coaching and counseling comes in where it is completely individualized and customized. If you don't understand something, it can be repeated in a different way. We can use analogies, we can use stories, we can do drawing so that you understand it better. And so it is important that when you're trying to overcome a problem, that somebody is telling you exactly what you hear in the way that you need to hear, way that you understand, so that in the way that is most useful based on their experience and expertise and training and knowledge. And so it is important that to go to the right practitioner. It is important to do your research about their training credentials, their testimonials, whether they have a supervisor, whether they go for mentoring, whether they have continuing education, whether they have a certifying body, or they just decided one day to just call themselves a coach, or attend a certificate and call themselves a coach. So I have spent so much time and money into my training. It's unbelievable. And so I think you owe it to yourself to do some research about the practitioner that you want to go to. So this is Martha making a short video from my office, Bamboo, and my client is here. So thank you for watching this video and have a good week ahead. Bye.